We're going to close the door on you if you keep making noise. All right.
Can you check the YouTube? All right. Well, we're live.
Okay.
Do you want to say something? It's 10 o'clock.
Perfect. Good morning, everybody. Welcome. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Shawnnyce Nutt, the Anger Whisperer. For those of you who do, welcome back. This is our masterclass where we're going to be talking about the 5 conflict mistakes and how to fix those for good. All right. And so a couple of things that I do as disclosures before we get started. Just want to make sure that you understand that there are times when I'll be looking away, and it's not because I'm reading, it's because I make sure that I have an outline so that I stay on track, because I tend to digress. All right. Oh, are we not on?
We're on webinar.
Okay. All right. So technical issues. I have a whole team here working with me, so I'm not sitting and talking by myself, and they keep me on track. This is on webinar for all of those who have joined us in that way. And then we're also on YouTube Live for all my community of angry birds. So either way you found us, thank you for being here. All right. So what we're going to be talking about today is we're going to talk about anger, but we're going to talk about and discuss how to decode it, how to make sure that you have a good handle on conflict. So first of all, conflict happens everywhere, at work, in our families, even within ourselves. But conflict doesn't destroy our peace. Our reactions are what destroys our peace. If you've ever said, I really wish I had handled that better, then you're in the right place. This is the place for you today. Type in the chat for those of you in webinar, and I'm not sure if those of you on YouTube can do this. I'm not sure, but type in the chat where you're joining from, and one word that describes how conflict makes you feel. Let's connect before we correct. So type in, let me know where you're coming from. I think most of my people are local. There are some, you know what I found? My people are actually from other countries. So our reach is spreading far and near. I love it. All right. So thank you for sharing where you're from. See a couple people from Cali, my usual. Some people from here from Vegas. Yay. All right. Thank you so much for joining us. All right. So what we're talking about first, the first section here is why we struggle with conflict in the first place. So the thing is, you learn a lot of things in school, but no one ever sat us down and said, here's how you respond when you're hurt, when you're misunderstood, or when you're angry. And one thing that you have to remember is that anger is our bodyguard emotion. So usually when we're angry, that anger is covering up for something else. And so immediately you usually have to figure out exactly what that's covering. Are you hurt? Are you frustrated? What's really going on? Are you hungry? Like, what's happening? And what happened with us not learning that in school is that we learned by watching others. So we either learned how to explode or we learned how to avoid the situations altogether. But the thing that I want to make sure that you take from here today is that peace isn't passive. Peace is power under control. And that's where the peace formula comes in. Conflict times reaction minus emotion equals peace. It's not math, it's mastery. It's a formula that reminds you to multiply awareness, subtract emotion, and create calm. That's the whole point of all of this. We can learn how to master those reactions, then we won't have the issues with conflict that we normally do, and we will be able to handle things much better, much calmer, without losing our peace in the first place. All right, so the first mistake that we tend to make in dealing with anger, dealing with conflict, dealing with almost anything that comes up is that we take it personally when we shouldn't. In the 4 agreements, Don Miguel Ruiz also talks about nothing that happens is personal for you. When you take things personally, you hand your power to someone else, to someone else's opinion of that particular thing. Their reaction is about their story, not your worth. How many times has that happened where you're like, okay, they're upset, things are coming at you, and immediately you assume that it's a personal attack on you? Okay. It's funny, but it's not. But I used to go through life thinking, do they know me? Like, does she know me? How do you know me already? We are just meeting right now, but you're treating me like you've known me my whole life, and all these things that you're taking out, you're aiming at me personally. But that's the thing. It's not personal. No one knows who you are. I tease my sister about that all the time. Do you know who I am? No one knows who you are. So that's the thing you have to understand. It can't be personal because most times they don't know you. And usually it's because something else is happening within them that's causing them to react in that way. So Don Ruiz said, nothing others do is because of you. When you stop absorbing people's projections, you stop bleeding out your energy. So the fix for this is to learn how to detach before you react. Ask yourself, is this really all about me or something that they're going through? When you stop personalizing pain, you can actually reclaim your peace. So try to remember that. Try to do an exercise, something that only happens in your head. But when people are coming at you for whatever reason, try to understand and try to figure out where their pain is coming from. What is that anger all about? Could be something. I mean, if you're going through, maybe you're in line somewhere, maybe you're at the DMV. I don't know why the DMV is on my mind. I think because something I watched last night. But if you're there and you're in line and you finally get up there and they don't treat you like they know you like your family, it's not because they're taking anything out on you personally. It's because they've had a rough time of it. So make sure that you understand that it's not personal. It's just this is something that happens. And if somebody is upset, again, try to figure out where their pain is coming from. It gives you a point of being able to pause in that, trying to figure it out as well, so you don't immediately react. Mistake number 2 is reacting from emotion instead of intention. So one of the agreements is don't make assumptions. The thing is, we almost always assume that people, whatever it is, they're upset with us. So when emotions lead, clarity leaves. We assume we know what someone meant when they said why they said what they said or how they feel. And then we respond to our own story, not the truth. And the story is what we've taken out of that. Like, why are they talking to me like that? They must be having a problem with me directly. And that's why they're talking to me in this way. That is your emotions leading, not being able to understand and take the time to figure out exactly what's going on. So Don Ruiz said, find the courage to ask questions and express what you really want. Because assumptions build arguments that never needed to exist in the first place. You know what they say about people who assume, they make an ass out of you and me. All right, so we don't want to make assumptions. We want to understand. We want to ask questions and figure out exactly what's going on. So the fix for this mistake number 2, reacting from emotion instead of intention, is to pause, breathe, and ask a question. That way you can respond from intention, not assumption. And that's how you turn reaction into resolution. So again, remember, don't assume that you know what's actually happening with them, what's going on behind the scenes, or how they feel about the situation that's happening. And if you have any questions, the best thing to do to find clarity is just to ask a question. Ask whoever it is or whatever is going on, ask them why they're feeling the way they are. Is there anything that you could do to help? All right. Assumptions is a big one though. So make sure, let's cover that again. Don't make any assumptions. Ask questions, gain clarity, and then figure out what's actually going on. All right. Mistake number 3 is trying to win instead of resolve. This is where almost all of us lose it. Because when we go into conversations, instead of going to conversations to effectively listen, we go into conversations to jump in, even if we're not upset. I don't know if you have ever had a friend where they seem to have done everything. Anything that comes up, anything that anyone else is talking about, they have already done, or they have been involved in, or something that they can contribute to the conversation about every single thing that happens. That is trying to win the conversation, trying to match whatever energy is coming out. And the thing is, we have to understand that it's not a competition. Conversations aren't competition. Sometimes people are just sharing things so that they'll be able to be heard. It doesn't mean that you have to have a response or that you have to jump in. So peace isn't about proving right. It's about restoring the relationship. The fix is to shift the goal from winning to understanding. And I mean, winning in any sense, not just the argument, but proving that you're one up on them because you've done those same things. That's not the point here either. Um, Ask, what do we both need to feel heard right now? What would make them feel heard? Maybe it's something as simple as listening, understanding what's going on, and not having an opinion about what they've done, or sharing your information and taking away from their spotlight. So when understanding becomes the aim, connection becomes the outcome. Because that happens. How many times does that happen? I've had friends like that where everything somebody says, and it doesn't even have to be me, it could be anybody in the group, they've done that thing and they can one up them. Don't be that person. So remember, don't try to win. Trying to win instead of resolving doesn't really get you anywhere. Okay? Stop treating conflict like a competition and you will be ahead of the game. All right. So mistake number 4 is in avoiding hard conversations. We do that all the time. If it's something that's going to be difficult, it might be easier just to avoid the subject altogether. And avoidance is silence pretending to be peace, because the problem still persists. The conversation is still waiting to be had, and you may make your life even more difficult instead of facing it and saying, hey, this isn't something that I'm comfortable with, or let's discuss this, let's talk about it, let's get to the bottom of it. Because when we don't speak truth, tension builds in the dark. It's a really powerful sentence. When we don't speak truth, tension builds in the dark. The creator of the 4 agreements, Don Ruiz, again said, speak with integrity and say only what you mean. Because what happens a lot of times when people are pressing us, or when it's a hard conversation, we acquiesce and we say whatever it is that we think they want to hear. So yeah, okay, I can do that. Yeah, I can make that 100 cupcakes for the bake sale tomorrow, even though you really don't want to, and you actually have no idea how to bake, and you're going to run to the store and grab the cupcakes anyway. Just make sure that you say exactly what you mean. Being impeccable doesn't mean being perfect. It means being honest and kind at the same time. So mean what you say. And this ties back into something we've talked about, I think it was last week or the week before, but when your no is enough. Because sometimes you have to say no, even in hard situations, because if it's not something that you're going to be able to do and do comfortably, then the situation is going to spiral anyway. So make sure you have the conversations. Don't avoid them. Make sure that you are impeccable. Mean what you say. So if you mean no, say no. Don't say yes to try and make anybody else feel better. And again, remember, avoidance is silence pretending to be peace. So the fix for this, for mistake number 4 and avoiding hard conversations, is don't react in heat, respond in health. When your word is clean, your peace is clear. Okay, so always stick to saying exactly what it is that you mean. And especially when you mean no. That sets up it sets you up for failure when you say yes instead of no. All right. Unless you mean yes, then you can do what you want to do. But in a situation where you're just saying yes because this is hard, or you're avoiding the situation altogether, it will come back to bite you. So make sure, be impeccable with your word, mean what you say, and move on from that particular thing. Have the conversation, though, no matter how hard it is. All right, mistake number 5, not having a formula. Basically, not knowing what it is that you want to do or how to handle these situations. The agreements, the 4th one, is always doing your best. Because if you try your best, that you've given your 100%, there isn't anything else you can do. When we don't have a system, though, we usually default to survival. Doing your best doesn't mean overgiving. It just means showing up consciously, consistently, and with compassion for yourself and others. One of the things it said was your best will change from moment to moment. That's grace in action. Because, sometimes, what did I have a teacher? She said, I can't remember, but something about doing your best. until your best is enough. I can't remember, but it was really important, and it's really powerful because you can only do what you know. So once you're giving your best, you're learning your all, you continue to do that best until your better is best. I think that's what it is. I think that's what the saying was, better is best. Because again, doing your best doesn't mean overgiving. It just means showing up, doing the work, being consistent, conscious, and compassionate with people that you're dealing with. The fix to this is use the peace formula. It makes complete sense. Show up as your best self in this moment, not your perfect self in theory. So the best that you can do, make sure that you, when you're dealing with conflict, that you take that emotion out of it. So your reaction is based on being able to resolve something and not trying to jump in and win. So let's go back over those. The 5 mistakes. 1, taking things personally. And we've already talked to make sure they don't know you. And if they do know you, it's not a personal attack. It could be something that's going on with them, something that's happening internally and doesn't have anything to do with you. So make sure that when you're looking at that, instead of taking it personally, you try to find out what's going on with them. See if there's something that you can help. Ask that question. Is this really about me, or what is it that they're going through? When you're reacting from emotion instead of intention, make sure we don't make assumptions, because again, when you make assumptions, you make an ass out of you and me. So make sure when emotions lead, clarity leaves. Don't make assumptions. Mistake number 3, or we'll go through the fixes. So the first one, how do you fix taking it personally? Detach before you react. That's what I want you to take away from today. Number 2, don't make assumptions. And the way that we fix that is to pause, breathe, and ask. Make sure you ask a question. Number 3, trying to win instead of resolve. The fix for that is shift the goal from winning to understanding, because it makes a huge difference. When instead of trying to jump in to impress or trying to jump in to win the argument, you're actually listening to understand. So again, number 3, trying to win instead of resolve. Make sure the fix is that you shift the goal from winning to understanding. Mistake number 4, avoiding the hard conversations. First of all, don't avoid them, but be impeccable with your word. The fix is to schedule a conversation. If it's something that you're not comfortable with, and you don't want to respond by saying something that you don't mean, or by saying something that may come back later, saying something harsh, schedule a conversation. Talk about when would be good for them. Set an appointment, especially if it's someone that you care about. Look, you know what, really, let's not talk about this right now. Let's circle back to this, maybe after we have dinner, or maybe tomorrow morning, but let's come back to it. And that way we'll have some solutions that we've planned. We can come up with something to fix the problem instead of just arguing or yelling about it. So schedule the conversation. It'll go better than you think. Trust me. Believe me. It will. All right. But don't leave them with anything hard. Make sure that you say a supportive statement. Don't say, hey, I want to talk to you. You got a minute? Make sure that you explain to them, our relationship is very important to me and I want to have a conversation with you, but I don't want to have it right now. Let's circle back to this when we're both calm. All right. Number 5, not having a formula. Always do your best. So the fix for that is using the peace formula. Always giving your best, putting your best foot forward. Make sure that you understand conflict times reaction minus emotion equals peace. So you always want to try and take your emotion out of that reaction. All right. There we go. So those 5 things we covered: taking it personally, reacting from emotion, trying to win instead of resolve, avoiding hard conversations, not having a formula. Fixes for those. The first one is, again, making sure that you detach before you react. The second one, pause, breathe, and ask. These are things that we do anyway. The third one is shift the goal from winning to understanding, because you're not in the conversation to win. You're in the conversation to see exactly what's happening with them. Number 4, schedule conversations. And number 5, use the peace formula. Conflict times reaction minus emotion equals peace. All right. So Let's bring this home. Think about your last conflict, maybe with your boss, your partner, or a teenager. I have teenagers around me too. And rate your reaction. What was it from 1 to 10? How much was actual emotion and how much was intention? And remember, awareness is step 1 and adjustment is step 2. You can't fix what you won't face. So think about the last time that you actually had conflict. And the last time that I actually had real conflict was over a question that I answered. Somebody asked me a question. I told them the truth. They got very upset about it. Probably could have been handled in another way. Hey, Ashley. Yay. Well, hello. Welcome, welcome. Good to see you. I told you I have a team of people telling me because I don't know. So welcome, welcome. I'm glad to see you here. All right. So remember, when you do have that conflict, try to keep in mind that it could be somebody who's actually hurting or has some other things going on, and it just happened to come out towards you. So you want to make sure that you understand that, recognize it for what it is, and ask what's going on. Is this something happening with you? Because clearly you already knew the answer to that question. Most people, when they ask you questions, already know the answer to them anyway. They're really just asking for your opinion or to show you that they're hurting and something is going on. So make sure that when you are facing conflict, that you understand that. Rate your reaction, understand how you're feeling. If anger came up, try to find out what that anger was protecting. Because again, remember, anger is our bodyguard emotion. So was it protecting you from being hurt? Was it protecting some pain that had happened to you before? Was it letting you know that you're hungry? Whatever it happens to be, make sure that you pay attention to those things. All right. And then how do we fix these things for good? So all this information, everything that we do, these master classes, the lives that we have going on Wednesday nights, all of these things give you additional information. That's what I want you to do. I want to give all the free information that I can, but then we have to be able to be ready for the transformation that happens as well. That's what happens when you come into the coaching programs with me. So in the peace, in any of my peace formula programs, what I do is I teach you how to identify your conflict patterns. What happens with you when you get upset, when you have that one person in your family that continues to pick? What is it? So what do your patterns look like? We're going to break emotional triggers before they break your progress. In some of my shorts, I talk to how not counting from 1 to 10 doesn't work for everybody, because before you know it, you're at 9 and 10, and it's a level that you can't come back from. So we have to figure out what those stressors are, figure out what those triggers are, and how to make sure that we recognize them before they do damage. We need to communicate with clarity, empathy, and if we're in a leadership position, make sure that you use your leadership present, try to do the servant leadership, whatever it happens to be. But when you're talking to anybody that you care about, you want to make sure that you're clear and that you're empathetic. Be supportive in any conversations that you're having. And then apply both the 4 agreements and the peace formula to build a lifestyle of calm and credibility. So we go through all those things in our programs. We actually have coaching programs that range from 8 weeks to 16 weeks. I just changed the level or the length of the programs that we have. So we have a gold program that's 2 months. We hit the ground running. We go through everything and we make sure that you have identified all of those problems, recognize what your the patterns and the triggers. We also have it's platinum. So the next one is platinum. And that one we just extended to 12 weeks. 16 weeks. Okay, so that one just got extended to 16 weeks. I apologize. I don't have these things written down in front of me. So the first one is 8 weeks, which is the 2 months. The second one we've extended from 12 weeks to 16 weeks. So now it goes from 3 months. It's actually 4 months instead. And then our last one, which is the platinum one, which is the one where you go the deepest, and we have 16 intensive sessions where we go through everything and make sure that you understand what peace looks like for you and how to make sure that you keep that vision in mind. That one now runs for 16 weeks. So you can go in depth and get through all the information that we need. All right, so let's make sure that all of these things that we're covering. How to fix these things for good. Again, we're going to make sure that you identify your conflict patterns. What are the patterns that happens with you? The things that happen over and over again. We're going to learn how to break those emotional triggers before they break your progress. So if you're counting 1 to 10, make sure you only get to 2 or 3. Let's not get to 9 or 10 because by then it's too late. You want to communicate with clarity and empathy and listen effectively because that's one a lot of us miss. And then make sure that you're applying the peace formula as you go out through your day to make sure that you build a lifestyle of calm and credibility. All right, because when you master your reactions, you actually multiply your influence. All right, so I know this one has been a little bit short, but I wanted to make sure that we covered everything, that we hit those 5 mistakes, that all of those things make sense to you. So if today's session helped to see yourself differently, imagine what 60 days of guided transformation can do. So we want to make sure that we're hitting all those things, that we're learning calm. I know for all my angry birds out there, we fly around and we're chirping and we're usually in a state of chaos and rage. And so I want to make sure that you maintain a level of calm and you understand what that looks like the little yoga bird on the Angry Birds. All right. So the things that you can do today for free tools, make sure that you download your free peace toolkit. Go to our website, which is, I'm going to give you the short version. Go to parknv.com, which is PARCNV for Nevada.com, or angerwhisperer.com. You can go there and download those free toolkits. And then you can book a free consultation call with me. Let's see exactly what area you're struggling with, what program would be best suited for you, and we can get you started and on your way to calm and happiness. And remember that anger isn't the enemy. Ignoring it actually is. So we're going to turn your conflict into clarity and your reaction into results. All right. And my team is laughing, so somebody must be saying something in chat. We'll figure that out as we go. Again, I hope this has been helpful for you. Please, let me make sure. Okay, so there's a lot of things going on. So every Wednesday now, these things are changing from every second and fourth Saturday to every second and fourth Wednesday. We're going to do them from 5 to 6 Pacific Standard Time, and we'll be live on YouTube every Wednesday from 5 to 6. So tune in basically to our channel at Anger Whisperer on YouTube every Wednesday from 5 to 6, and we'll be there either doing one of our master classes or doing readings from the book, What Cheese, which you see behind me, commercial time. But make sure that you come and get the information that we're giving out free, and then get ready for your transformation so you can schedule with us. Let's see. We also have our podcast going every Thursday from 6 to 7. So that is 6 Pacific Standard Time to 7. And the last one was really cute. So check it out. We do replays all the time. They're going to be on there. But that one was about what peace looked like. And surprisingly, what it looks like to different people. When my peace looks like rap music, loud music, driving fast in my car. That's what peace looks like for me. For other people, it doesn't look that same way. For my father, it looks like being surrounded by the people that he cares about. And so check out the webinar replays. We also have our YouTube live replays. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I need to be covering. Oh, we have a Shopify store. What is the address for our Shopify store? It's a lot. So the Anger Whisperer something, but if you go to our website, you'll be able to click on the shop button and it'll take you into the Shopify store. And we also have somebody on there who was going through one of our programs and actually put the information down from the workbook. So it's really super cute. So make sure that if you get a chance, go to the website. Again, parknv.com or angerwhisperer.com. And then remember to join us live on YouTube every Wednesday from 5 to 6 Pacific Standard Time, every Thursday, 6 to 7 for our podcast. All right. Let's see if there's anything else. I think that is everything. Thank you for joining us for the Anger Whisperer Masterclass. Again, if this resonated, hit subscribe, follow at Anger Whisperer on every platform, and save your spot for our next webinar. The next one's going to be 7 mistakes made in anger and how to avoid them. And that one will be on November 19th. Okay. Make sure that you stay with us. Come and see us. Check us out on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. I think we're on all the socials. Until next time, stay calm, stay clear, and stay connected. And there's one thing that telling me, hang on one second. A shout out? Oh, Allison, what's a shout out? Okay, Allison, what is her, what's Allison's Instagram stuff? Can I put that out there? It's at Allison Hall, I think. Can somebody look it up? We'll look it up right now, Allison, so you get a real shout out. Anybody else who wants a shout out, just let me know. And we will add it in. So as long as they can let me know what your stuff is, we'll put it out here. And let me... Allison Hall, Allison, Hall, Hall, at what? 84. That's the Instagram handle, at Allison Hall 84. All right, I'm just learning these things, so bear with me. But shout out to everybody who's with us. Shout out to everybody who's paying attention. And come and keep seeing us. We'll do shout outs. One of our shorts got 209,000 views. I don't even know what to do with that. And one of our videos got like 72,000 views. So we might be the place to start doing shout outs. I don't know. Anyway, come and see us. What happened? Justice. Yay! Shout out to Justice, everybody who's watching us. Thank you guys so much. And again, thank you for being with us, and continue to watch us, because hopefully we are growing and people will know who the Anger Whisperer is. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you guys for joining us. Remember, find me where you go, click the link, stay in the know.